Is it possible to promote your music without using any social media? If you're like me, you hate, or let's say strongly dislike using social media, because I don't know about you, but I'm putting in all this time and effort and I'm not seeing the returns. So if you feel like you're on this hamster wheel of content and you're burning out, social media feels like a chore and you don't really feel that you're getting the results that you're hoping for, the views, the comments, the engagement, and most importantly, people listening to your music from your content. Now, I was always thinking that I was the problem. So when I asked other musicians who were successful or gurus out there giving advice, it would always be kind of like, just get better at the hook or just make better content, or you just need to play the game, find a viral trend and hop on that. And I feel like that social media game always changed so fast. And if you know me, you've been following me for a while, you know I'm big on principles because principles never change. You just find out how they work once and then you just rinse and repeat. And you know when you do this will happen. They're very reliable, they're predictable. That's what I like. I like to figure out something once and then use it and rinse and repeat. So social media didn't make sense for me personally. And I will get in a little bit deeper in why. But if you're the same way, if you think that social media is not your game and you're sick and tired of it, then keep watching. Also, if you did master social media and you're like, yeah, I know how to use social media, I'm getting results from social media, then good for you. I applaud you for figuring out that game. And maybe you can add this new strategy to your social media content as well, because more streams of revenue or more view streams is always better than just one. Now, first, I always saw the problem with me that I'm not good at hooks, that I'm not good at social media content, that I can't figure out the viral videos, that my music isn't good enough, that I'm as a musician, I'm not good enough. And then you go down this rabbit hole that you're just not talented enough, right? You are just not enough. And then I I read this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I read it years before this. And there was a quote in here. So in the entire book, there were a few quotes that really stood out and changed my life. This is my most recommended book. If there's only one book that you could read, I would recommend this one, Atomic Habits. It really is what the hype is. I unfortunately put off reading this for so long because I thought, everyone's talking about this as such a hyped book and yada, yada, yada. But once I did read it, I'm like, okay, now I understand why people are raving about this. Is because it is actually really, really good. And there's one quote. So the entire book, I'm now saving you a lot of time, but I would still read it. There's one quote in there that completely changed not just my life, but how I view success and how I get results on a regular basis repeatedly. And here's the quote: "You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." And I'm like, this is a completely different approach than what I was used to or what people tell you, period. That means instead of questioning me and my goals and if I am enough, if my content is enough, I am now questioning the system I'm using, which is social media. Is social media the right way to promote your music? And I never asked that question before. And I'm like, this would change the game. What if there was a way to promote my music without having to use social media at all? Or without focusing on social media? And I'm like, I will find a way. There's always a way. There's always one way. Now I get it. We are in a century where you need a social media and you need to be on Instagram and TikTok and you need to be on all the platforms, and you need to get, you have to be everywhere. And if you're not on social media, then do you even exist? And I will get to that in just a second. But right now, I just want you to just think of the possibility. What if you just put social media on the back burner for now and focus on a different platform that might be a better fit for you? Now, this is what we're going to talk about in this podcast episode. Welcome to the Musician Secrets Podcast. I'm Elise Koa, and I'm so happy you're here today because this is going to be a banger, and I hope it's going to change the way you view social media, and hopefully it's going to give you a better way to promote your music. Now, let's get into it. The other platform I'm talking about besides social media is YouTube. And yes, now before you're like, oh, this platform worked 20 years ago with Justin Bieber in 2008, and it's so outdated now and nobody uses YouTube anymore except for like uploading music videos. Yeah, that might be true, but I will give you 9 reasons why YouTube might be a better fit than social media. Now, just keep an open mind, and I will give you those 9 reasons. But before I get into the 9 reasons why YouTube would be a better fit than social media, I just want to kind of explain not the history of YouTube, but explain why so many musicians disregard YouTube and why it's giving you it's just swinging the door wide open for you to take advantage of this right now. It's actually, in my opinion, right now is the best way to start up social media, not social media, YouTube again, is now. So if you have a YouTube channel that's been dead for a while and you're not been taking it seriously, you should do it now. And if you don't have a channel yet and you're starting fresh, go start a channel now. I'm not going to get into how to start a channel or how to revive your channel in this video, in this podcast. It will blow this. I would talk hours. But if you are interested in that, I do have a community. It's called Musician Secrets Campus, where I do live trainings there and where I do deep dive into this, how to start a channel, how to revive your channel, what content to post, yada, yada, yada. If you want to know all of that, you can join my community, the Musician Secrets Campus, in the link down below. Okay, so why do so many musicians believe that YouTube is just like an old thing that used to work, but it is now just not a useful tool anymore? Now, I understand, YouTube was like the golden era for musicians. It was just amazing. You could sit on the couch like this, or on your bed, or be in a living room and just put your phone here and just do a cover, and you would get views and new fans, and you would just do that on a regular basis. And then you would get someone like Scooter Braun who would discover Justin Bieber or Tori Kelly or musicians like that from YouTube. And it was a great time, and it was just exploding with musicians. And then something happened that kind of changed the YouTube game forever because musicians didn't adapt to it. What do I mean by that? So the record labels were noticing that musicians were covering their songs, and basically the labels were not getting paid for it. So they were using songs that had royalties on them. And obviously the record labels were cracking down on YouTube because they're using our songs, but you're not doing anything about it. Right? And that kind of also happened with the streaming platforms as well, with Spotify and iTunes. The labels were like, they're using our songs, but we're not getting paid for that, right? So you have that feud between labels wanting to get paid, record labels wanting to get paid, and just us musicians or normal people using music, but not paying the royalties for that. And so obviously the record labels were cracking down on that. I understand, right? So they had to find an agreement somehow. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving you any lawyer advice or anything like that. There is this amazing woman on YouTube that is a lawyer that does give legal advice to musicians. I will link her YouTube channel down below. Unfortunately, I just forgot her name, but she has like pink strains in her hair and stuff. If you're kind of on YouTube, you might know her. I just forget her name. But I'll link her up down below. So if you do want legal advice, go watch her stuff. It's really good. I am not here for the legal advice, but I'm just trying to give you the information, meaning the YouTube had to come in agreement somehow with the record labels. Now, what they did, so wait, before I maybe go into that, there are basically two licenses that you need as a musician to post cover songs on YouTube. Now, if you just do audio, so let's say you're covering a song, but you just put it on Spotify or iTunes or whatnot, then all you need is the mechanical license. That's it. So mechanical license is just music that you hear. But on the other side, because we're putting a visual to the audio, you need a second license, that is the sync license. Sorry. So one is the mechanical license, which is audio, and then the second one is the sync license, because now you're synchronizing visuals to the audio. Right? So if we're posting on YouTube, we need two licenses. We need the mechanical license, and then we would need the sync license. Now, it's not realistic that a small musician like me would go and reach out to a big record label, if you could even get in touch with them, and ask for permission for these licenses. It's just not realistic. And so the sync license, the mechanical licensing, which is for the audio. So Spotify and iTunes and all these streaming platforms made an agreement with the record labels that when you post a cover of a song and you put it on YouTube, then Spotify and the record labels, they kind of hash that out, and Spotify pays the label. So you don't have to worry about getting a mechanical license and any of that. So basically, what you can do, depending on the country you're in, but what you can do is you can cover a song. I'm just talking about audio right now, and you can upload it to your distributor like CD Baby, a DistroKid, and whatever that there's out there. It doesn't really matter. Once you upload to your distributor, and then your distributor uploads it to all these platforms, these platforms will take care of all the license. So you don't have to worry about that, which is kind of nice. That's good to know. So you can cover songs and put them on your streaming platforms. That's fine. The only thing that you're not allowed to do is monetize it. So let's say you do a cover album and then you sell your album. That is not allowed. All right. So as soon as you're monetizing that in any way, you would need to get your own mechanical license, but that's not kind of what we're talking about. The other thing, so that was kind of the mechanical license, the audio part was taken care of. But the other thing now, that a very specific problem that YouTube had was getting the sync license. Right? The other platforms didn't have that, so they're out. But YouTube also had the problem of the sync license. All right, so YouTube also made an agreement with the record labels that when you post, they get the monetization money from your channel. So what does that mean? The cool thing, the advantage of YouTube, and that's why kind of a lot of musicians were also posting on YouTube, is the cool thing is when you post content and when you hit 1,000 subscribers and and you get a certain amount of views, I don't know what the threshold is right now, but that allows you to monetize your channel. That means when somebody runs ads on your YouTube channel, you get paid, or YouTube will pay you for that. right? You don't have to toggle that on. There are channels who don't, they monetize in a different way. But most YouTubers turn on the monetization. So you basically get paid to put out content. That was the big advantage of YouTube or social media. Social media doesn't pay you to make content, but YouTube does, which is also one of the benefits for being on YouTube. So what I mean by that, when you cover a song, back in the days, so when the record labels were crashing down on YouTube, YouTube will completely delete your video. They took it down and that was it. They're like, we found royalty music on your video, so they just took it down and you just couldn't upload anymore. And then they found this agreement. They're like, all right, we get it. When you post a cover, you're obviously using some sort of record labeled song. They now found an agreement that when you turn on your monetization and you cover a song, they will keep your video up, but the money that you would make from that one video, you don't get to keep it. They're going to give it to the record label. So you're basically, when you're covering a song, you're giving that monetization money that you would usually get, you're giving it to the record label. I would say it's a fair agreement because you're still getting the views, you're still getting the exposure, you're still getting the fans from it. You're just not getting paid in the way that most musicians were hoping for or that YouTubers are used to. You're paying the money that you would be making, you're now paying the record label for it. I would say that is a fair agreement, but most musicians wouldn't agree with me. And so that was the main reason why musicians stopped posting on YouTube, because they were relying on that monetization income. Right? So if you were a typical YouTuber and you're making videos just by getting the royalties from that AdSense, then you were basically screwed. But what I'm trying to teach you in this video is you just need to shift your mindset and shift the perspective, because YouTube is still a great tool because they leave your video up, which is the most beneficial thing for you as a musician. You're just not keeping the monetization from that. So I will get into how to make money from those YouTube videos in a different episode. Not in this one, because that's not what this video is about. I'm really just here to show you why YouTube is still the best way to promote your music. There is still a way how you will and can make really good money from YouTube. I'm just going to be using that. I'm just going to be talking about it in quite detail in a different episode, probably the next one. So subscribe if you haven't yet, so you don't miss the next week's episode for that. All right, cool. Now, this was the agreement that the labels and YouTube agreed. When you upload a cover song now, it stays on YouTube. You get to use the video, but the money that you would make from the covers goes to the record label instead of your pocket. Okay? This is the main reason why most musicians stopped using YouTube to promote their music, and that's kind of something that died off and plateaued. But because most musicians did not shift their perspective and didn't change how they looked on YouTube, this now gives you the wide opportunity to come in and use YouTube. All the other musicians, they only relied on that AdSense from the monetization YouTube channel. They're out. But again, what we care about YouTube, we don't care about the money at this point yet. Okay, it's nice. Obviously, I'm not saying that it would be nice to get that monetization money. You can still post, like later on in a few minutes, I'm going to be talking about different content that you can post to YouTube. I'm going to show you the YouTube Flywheel, and covers are just a part of it. So if you make other videos besides cover songs, you do get to keep the monetization money from that, because the label just takes the money from the cover songs that you made, just that one video. So if you make multiple videos, you get to keep the money of the other videos you're making, okay? So you still get to keep the monetizations, but from other videos you've done, and I will get into that in the YouTube Flywheel in just a few minutes. But there's so many other ways that you can monetize with YouTube besides the AdSense. You can have it sponsored, for example. You can do subscriptions, communities, and all that good stuff. And I'm going to get into all of that again in next week's episode. This is not this week's episode, but there's so many more ways that you can get creative to get money from YouTube. But right now, we just want to get fans that will then pay us later. So we're just using YouTube as a fan attraction machine that will work for us 24/7. That's all we care about. And because we get to keep the video up, that's a win in my book, because that's all we care about right now. There are the 3 steps that you need when you want to start your music business. And if you haven't watched the video yet, I will link it up down below or put it down in the show notes where I talk about these 3 steps. This is just step 1, is to attract fans. That's the only purpose that we want right now. That's the goal. If we get new fans, when we get views and eyeballs on our YouTube content, that is a win. Right now, we don't really care about the monetization. And I think it's a fair deal that you pay the record labels in order for you to use their music. I think it's fair. Most musicians don't, because they just haven't adapted to make money off of YouTube then. Okay, but we're smarter, we're musicpreneurs, and that's why we will find different ways to still get to our money. And right now, it's just about getting fans. Let's attract fans through our YouTube content. So here, now I'm going to talk about the 9 ways that YouTube might be a better fit than social media. And I just want to point out, I'm not bashing social media. Social media has its time and place for sure. And there are musicians out there who've mastered the game of social media, and they love to use social media, and they're good at social media. And if that's you, that's amazing. But what if you added social media, YouTube to social media? Like, now you would have 2 fan attraction engines working for you. Okay. I'm just saying, I have a hard time with social media because that's not me. Every time I make a video, I feel fake. It's really hard for me to take my knowledge and the expertise and I like to go deep. I'm not a surface level person. It's hard for me to teach you something in 60 to 90 seconds. For me personally. But what I love, I can turn on the camera or my phone and I can talk into the camera and explain a concept for at least an hour, no problems. I have no problems to talk with the camera, and therefore talking to you specifically for an hour. I don't have a problem with that. That for me feels more natural, because I like to go deep. I want to give you the reasons why. I want to give you the mindset. I want to give you how you can be a musicpreneur. That's what I'm interested in. I want to really help you on a deeper level, not just a 60-second, 3-step thing that just feels fake to me. And that's why I couldn't get out on this social media game. It just didn't feel natural to me. And if you're watching that, that might be the same case for you. These short video clips, they feel uncomfortable. They don't feel you. You kind of feel like this fraud. You're like, oh, do I have to do this dance video or whatnot? Right? And if that feels unnatural to you, then maybe this YouTube game is a better way for you to express yourself, express your art, express yourself as an artist. That might be a good indicator that you shouldn't be questioning you and your talent and your skills and your music. You should be questioning the system, the tool that you're using to promote your music. You should be questioning that. And that's what we're talking about. So let's get into the 9. I have my notes here. This is what I call my book of growth. So everything I'm learning this year is going into this book. It's getting quite full. But so if I'm looking down, I'm just like looking on my notes here. But so we have 9 points that I think are really good reasons why I like to use YouTube over social media to promote my expertise, myself, music, and so on. Okay. So this is basically a compound versus a constant content hustle for me. So first point is people with purpose. So these people are actively searching for something. This is a huge advantage over social media. When people go on YouTube, they have intent. They're actively looking for something. They have a problem, they're looking for a solution, or they're looking for a song, they're looking for a how to play tutorial, they're looking specifically for something. That is a very different mindset that your customer or your new fan is going into, rather than somebody on social media scrolling through their phone and you have to stop them through a hook or whatnot. That is also what we call interruption marketing, because you need to interrupt someone while their mind is actually somewhere else, right? They're on their phone. They're just trying to get that adrenaline kick. I don't know why I said adrenaline. Adrenaline kick. In German, it's Adrenalin. And so sometimes, the way you pronounce a word, it sounds differently. Every language has like a melody, I would say. And so Adrenalin is German and adrenaline is English. So sometimes I need to, you know, keep that in mind, but sometimes it comes out weird because I'm thinking in 2 languages. So just as a side note, so these are people who are scrolling through their phone, trying to get that adrenaline hit, and you need to interrupt them in their tracks and be like, hello, here's my music, listen to my music. And that's why on social media, you need to get really good at hooks and learning how to interrupt someone, how to stop a scroll. That's the most important thing on social media. That is not the case on YouTube. Okay, so we have 2 different people. We have a search engine with over 2.5 billion people on there, by the way, actively looking on YouTube. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think YouTube is the future of TV, because TV is dying out. The only time I watch TV is right now. There's the World Cup, the soccer World Cup going on right now. And obviously, as a German, we're big in the World Cup, so I'm watching it. And I need to watch it on TV. That is the only time every 2 years when there's the European Cup and the World Cup. That's when I watch TV. But other than that, I don't watch TV anymore. I use Netflix, I use Disney Plus or Amazon Prime, or what I'm now doing too a lot of the times, because I don't know about you, the stuff on Netflix is getting kind of boring. And so I go to YouTube, and the YouTube knows exactly what I like. And so pretty much almost every video I'm suggested, I want to watch, and I watch it on my TV. So I think the future of TV is going to be YouTube. TV is going to be gone, or very little. They're just kind of using views, at least here in Germany. And what's gonna replace TV is going to be YouTube. Now imagine people watching your covers, your how to play tutorials, or your gear review, or whatever you're gonna be doing. I'm gonna talk about the YouTube Flywheel in just a minute. What if they watch that on their TV? Like, how cool. Like, now is the best opportunity to hop onto this YouTube train, because again, a lot of musicians are disregarding it because of the monetization of their channel. But this swings the door wide open for you to swoop in. And again, in next episodes, I'm going to give you a lot of different ways, or not a lot of different. I'm focused on one way how you can make money off of your views from YouTube. All right. So that's people with purpose. They're on YouTube. You have 2.5 billion users on YouTube searching for things. And if you pop up for that search, you can get all the views or the majority of views. And again, that is its own way, knowing how to package a YouTube video. That's its own skill to have. And again, I go into that in depth in my community, the Musician Secrets campus. I go live and then I teach that. So if you want to learn more about that, how to package a video in a way so you rank, then you can join the community for that. So that was one, okay? Then two is problems. Kind of goes hand in hand with the search engine thing, but I just kind of specifically wanted to point that out. These people have problems and they're looking for a solution on YouTube, right? The problem is they want to be entertained, or the problem is they have friends and they just want a YouTube playlist that they can share or listen to while they're like playing games or sitting outside and chilling or why not. Like that is a problem they have, and that's why they're searching for songs or for a song or for a specific song. And if you pop up for that song and you do a great job with the cover, they're very likely going to listen to your cover. There are so many covers that I prefer over the original, because sometimes, let's say the original is quite like, from a musical aspect, very heavy and very out there, and maybe I just want a chill like an acoustic cover or something like that, then I will prefer the cover over the original. Can you kind of see where I'm getting at this? Or maybe you do it in a different genre. And I'll get into that in just a little bit. So again, these people are looking for something. They usually have a problem that they're looking for a solution for. And if you pop up as the solution, congratulations, they're going to click on your video. So one is people with purpose. Two is problems. Then three is permanence, right? The cool thing with YouTube is that the videos compound over time. This is not just on social media where you post a video and then after a few hours, nobody really cares about it anymore. So it means the shelf life of a video is much longer on YouTube, because I make the video once and I upload it, and then 5 years later, someone can still find my podcast episodes, and I just put in the work once. So these videos, they compound over time, which is, in my opinion, the biggest advantage that you can possibly have is the compounding effect. You don't really have that with social media. With social media, like a few hours, it feels like give it a day or maybe two, unless it goes super viral and has like this longer effect, this longer tailwind. But on a regular basis, 9 times out of 10, you post a video and nobody cares anymore. And that's why I love YouTube, because it compounds. Every video that you make is it's promoting you for free for as long as you take it down. So that can be years and years, which is really cool. Then the fourth one is proof. The really cool thing is, because you're spending more time with someone, you're not just having 60 or 90 seconds or 2 minutes with a person, you're spending, if you do a cover, at least 3 to 4 minutes. If you're doing like a gear review or something else, then it might be even longer. It might be 15 or 20 minutes. Here on the podcast, it's an hour or even longer than that. Some podcasts go over 2 hours. So I'm spending a lot of time with you. That builds trust. That builds expertise. So that is like, again, the German expertise in German. So in English, is it expert? expertise, expert, you're, it's, why am I stumbling on this word? It just shows you're an expert. Or not. I don't know why I'm struggling with this word, but it shows that you're an expert in your field. Because anyone can make a 60 or 90 videos, a second video on a 3 steps to whatever. But it's really hard to fake your expertise for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, or if you're doing like a gear review for 20 minutes, it's a bit harder to fake your expertise. Expertise. That's, I was just thinking too much about it. Your expertise. You know when you're too much in your head and then all of a sudden just things just sound weird, period. So your expertise. When you're, it's really hard to fake that for such a long time. All right. And you get to see more of the personality, more of the like just who you are as a person, the way you teach, the way you move, the way you speak. It's just different. And that's why you just build trust faster. You can show your expertise a bit more because you just have more time with the person. I'm not saying that everyone that watches your YouTube video watches to the end, but even if a small percentage of someone does watch to the end, they're also then very likely to watch more of your videos or to check out your music or your merch or buy your tickets or something like that. Because again, coming to point one, they're searching specifically for something. They're more likely to stick around longer, especially if you are helping the person out. Right? So much to proof. So you're proving that you're trustworthy, that you know what you're doing, that you are an expert, that you're good at what you're doing. So when I just say expert, it means you're just very good at what you do. So for us musicians, that's the talent that we have. 5 is positioning. Very kind of goes on with the fourth one, kind of hand in hand. People see you as an authority rather than just another content creator in that sense, because you're just spending more time, right? And so basically in the fourth one, proof, you're building trust. And you're showing your expertise. And then in the fifth one, the positioning, you're really just showing your authority in the space. So if you're a pop artist, you're the authority in pop. If you are a rock artist or not, you're the authority in rock, in the rock genre. And if you're a coach, let's say you're a vocal coach or you're teaching someone an instrument, something like that, then you're showing your authority as a vocal coach, for example, right? So then the sixth one is you're building a portfolio. Portfolio is kind of comes back to what I said, that the videos compound. So of course you make one video and it markets you and your music and your content forever until you take it down. But the cool thing is you're building a portfolio of videos. So that video is compounding this and this and this and this and this. Like they're all just compounding with each other over time. So it's not that, because again, it compounds, you don't just upload it and then it's just gone after a while, but you're building a portfolio of video content, of long form video content. So when it's not unlikely that when I find someone and I like the video, that will actually check out their channel, and then you have a portfolio of videos there. So if let's say you're a cover band that plays specifically for weddings or in clubs or whatever you're doing in pubs, then you have that portfolio. So if somebody is, looking for a wedding band and they find your video, they're going to be very likely, if they like that, they're like, oh gosh, you do weddings, then they're going to go on your channel and then they're going to see all the other videos that you've done so far. So you have this portfolio of videos that are just compounding for you. Of course, you have the same thing with social media. You could argue that when somebody finds your video scrolling, then they can also go to your social media platform, and then you have your videos there. But again, these are short forms, so they're just like these short snippets where they don't really get to see the full version of you. But you have this huge portfolio of showing who you are as an artist, your music, your art, your how-to content. Maybe you're a coach. Again, you're a vocal coach. Maybe you're both. That is, in my opinion, very different to have a portfolio of long form content rather than just like a bunch of just short snippets of you and your content. And then the cool thing is, when one video goes, let's say viral, and with viral, I just mean gets more views than usual. So that could be 5,000 views, it can be 50,000 views, it can be 5 million views, whatever is the usual average. And here's an example. I have a YouTube channel that is a faceless YouTube channel. It's for kids. I make content for kids on there. And I started brand new, so completely from scratch. No, um, yeah, so I just started a new Gmail. That Gmail opens up my new YouTube account. So everything's fresh. I just wanted to know if I kind of figured out this YouTube game or not. And so I wanted to start fresh. That's not in connection with any other of my content that I've put on YouTube. So I put it out and I said I'm going to upload twice a week. And I started the channel, put up a video, and it got like, I think like 50 views. Then I uploaded the second video, and it got like 20 views. And then the third video got like 100 views. And then the fourth video got like 80 views or something like that. And then my fifth video, somehow, now I was like triggering the YouTube algorithm of what content I made, and they were pushing out my video to a certain audience. And it kind of, for me, went viral with 45,000 views. So from like maybe hitting 100 views, I went to 45,000. And the cool thing, it was like the first week, that fifth video, again, performed like every other video. It was like 20 views. Then I got 50 views. And like after a week, my husband called me from work and he's like, have you looked at your YouTube videos? And I'm like, yeah, I checked it last week. It just did another like 50 views. And he's like, no, go and check your channel. And I checked it, and it all of a sudden had like 7,000 views. And I'm like, what just happened? And then it felt like every day I refreshed, just got more and more and more. And so for the entire week, it was just going up, 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 up. And then it kind of plateaued at 45,000 views. But like over that time span, it just got pushed more. So basically YouTube has two algorithms, one as a search engine and then one as a suggestions on the side. You will get suggested videos. And so my video kind of popped up in those suggested videos, and people kept watching it. And because that video took off with 45,000 views, and YouTube was suggesting my videos on the side, people also then watch those videos, because if they like that video, they're very likely to watch my other videos. So now YouTube was suggesting my other videos, and now they also got more views. So they went from 50 views to 2,000 views. They didn't go quite as viral as that fifth video, but they got way more views in comparison to 50 views. Okay, so that's the cool thing with YouTube, that when you're putting out this portfolio of content and you do have a video that kicks off that gets more views, then it will also push the other videos. People will come and either check you out, or YouTube will suggest your videos or something like that. And then those videos that also had lower views will also now be suggested, and everything just gets pushed for as long as you keep it up there. And that's the cool thing. Like, your videos, they don't go anywhere. They just actually just gets better over time. This is really something where I feel like when I put in the effort in a YouTube video, that just it can outlive me even if I wanted to, which is just nuts. Okay, so super big fan of portfolio, as you can tell. Then the seventh one is productivity. And that's why I'm saying we don't have to disregard social media in full. But with this, what is it? The seventh point with productivity is the cool thing is when you have one long form video, you can chunk it up into, depending how long that video is, at least 3 or 5 or 7. So that will be one a week short form videos. And the cool thing, there are softwares out there that just do it for you. I have a software right here that I'm using that once I'm done recording, it automatically takes this one long form video and it makes me like 20 short form contents. Like short form video contents. That's a mouthful. So short form video contents. And then you just take that content and you just upload it to social media. So I'm not saying that you should completely disregard social media, just don't focus on it. If you focus on long form and then you take that, because long form is king. From a long form, you can do everything. From long form video, you can do short form videos. Then from that, you can take the audio, you can just do audio podcast, you can do text, so video to text, and then from text you can do all sorts of things with AI. I mean, a boring version would probably be a blog, but you can do carousels from that, and all, like, there's just, once you have text, that's also just unlimited way to make content from one long, like, you don't have to make extra content for YouTube and then extra content for social media and then extra content for LinkedIn and then extra content for Twitter, like, or X. That's why I'm saying you make one long form, and then from this one long form, all the other content happens. That's the smart way. This is the musicpreneur way of making content. How do you think I do it? That's why people might seem omnipresent, because they are all on the social media platform. But you need to focus on one thing, on one thing, on one platform that is like your main thing. You need to master this one platform, and then you can add later, but focus on one. And I would just say, focus on this one platform on YouTube, make one good long form content, and then that content becomes an infinite flow of content. But I would just kind of focus on making one long form content, and then having a software that with a push of a button, you just upload that long form content, you say clip now or something like that, whatever the button says, and then that software automatically does the work for you. Because when I started this podcast 4 years ago, I had to manually go in, watch the entire thing through, and then take notes where, like, what are the 60-second, clips. And then I had to, like, when I would export it, I would have to go in again and then snip it all manually. That would take me hours just to do that. And so I stopped doing it. Now you just do it in a push of a button. You wait 3, 4, 5 minutes, depending on how many clips it's going to generate for you. And then you just take that and upload it. It just, your work is to upload that and press a button. That's it. Like, after that, you're done. So it just takes you an extra minute to do that. Okay. So that's a cool thing. You just have that productivity built in there now as well. We're making content smarter and not working our butt off in the social media hamster wheel. Right. So that was 7, productivity. Then 8 is profitability. Now, this is kind of what I talked about, how I open this video, is with monetization. The cool thing is YouTube pays you to make content, because if somebody runs ads on your channel, you get paid by YouTube. Obviously, the more views you have and so on, you get paid more. I don't know any other social media platform that pays you to make content. I feel like it's quite the contrary. They just kind of force you to make more content because the algorithm keeps changing and you need to figure out the social media game all over again and how the algorithm works and yada yada yada. And yes, YouTube also have some algorithm changes, but right now they're in the favor of small channels, which is another advantage for you to start now. Social subscribers on YouTube are actually not that important anymore. What YouTube cares about is keeping people on your video and having them watch. So watch time on YouTube is a big thing. So are they clicking on your video, and then how long are they watching your video? Obviously, if you have subscribers, it helps because then they get notified when you upload a video. So it kind of gives you that initial push. But then YouTube sees that you kind of plateau, and then, that's why I'm saying you with a small or new channel have have the exact same chance as someone with like 2 million followers, which is just crazy. This has never happened before. So when YouTube changes an algorithm, it's nearly not as often as social media. And then it's usually to the advantage for you as a YouTube who's making good content, because that's what they want. That's what YouTube wants. They want to reward you for your content, hence why you get paid. And the more you get people to stick around on your channel and watch more of your videos and basically support you as an artist, then they will promote that and push out your videos even more. So in that case, you have YouTube more as a friend on your side, rather than, I feel like on social media, they just keep changing the algorithms for, I don't even know what reasons, but it feels like it's a constant change and I'm constantly chasing after these trends and having to keep up with social media, and that's just not me. And that's why I just prefer YouTube, because I get paid to make content there. Of course, again, if we make covers, and only if we make covers, that payment goes to the record labels. But again, if you make any other type of content, that is yours to keep, which is kind of nice. Now, yeah, you have that profitability. And then the ninth one is peace of mind. Who doesn't want peace of mind? I think if you have peace of mind, in my opinion, then you're rich. Because there's nothing worse than if you have to worry about mostly money, or if you have other problems, then your brain is constantly having like all these thoughts, and then you can't sleep, and then you have a bad day, and then you perform bad at work, and then you don't feel like making music today because you don't have that peace of mind. But imagine if you just had this feeling, like this peace of mind where you're like, this is nice. Like, I don't have to stress about this. Like, I don't have to like, that's the cool thing. And that's what that for me is rich. I don't care how much money you have, but if you don't have peace of mind, then what good is the money? I would rather have peace of mind, because there's being stressed about something, work related, relationship related, money related, doesn't matter. If there's anything just really stressing you, I'd rather have peace of mind. But again, that is for you to leave like in the comments down below. Would you rather have like $1 million or peace of mind? What would you pick? I would pick peace of mind. Pick peace of mind. Say that 10 times fast. Peace of mind. Pick peace of mind. Or would you, let's make it higher. Let's take 10 million. Would you have $10 million, or would you rather have peace of mind? Pick peace of mind. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay. Yeah, because the peace of mind, because you have, for me, that's what I've noticed. For me, one long form content is less work than like 7 or 10, 14 short form videos. Because think about it, this is just one idea that I have for content, if you have 14, or let's say you post once a day, there's 7. So now you have 7 content ideas that you have to come up instead of just one long one. You know what I mean? So when you have, let's say you, because social media, I feel like you have to post a lot to just be seen. And so if you post, you need to minimum, you have to post like once a day. That's like the golden rule. That's like minimum is like once a day. So if you average around 60 seconds, because some videos might be 20 seconds of yours or even 10 seconds because it's just like a snippet of or a promo video for your music. Sometimes you might talk about behind the scenes and you're talking more 90 seconds or even longer. So I would say just on average, so to make math easy, let's say it's 60 seconds. So we have 1 minute. So if you post once a day for a week, that's 7 minutes already. That's 7 different types of content ideas. That's 7 minutes of editing and whatnot. Like, and then that versus just one video, just one good video, one complete cover song, one behind the scenes, one gear review, whatever. Like, I'm gonna get into YouTube Flywheel in just a minute, but for me, that is less work to make one long form video than a bunch of short form videos. So if you're like really into the YouTube game and you're like, you know what, I'm posting like 2 times a day or even 3 times a day, then that is 14 minutes or even 21 minutes a week rather than, again, if it's a cover song, you have 3 to 4 minutes. If you're doing a longer video, then it's like 20 minutes or something like that. For me, one long form content video is less work than all the social media. So, and you have an entire week to do that. And that's another thing is how often should I upload? Well, I found that once a week is the sweet spot because it gives you enough time to make content. So you basically have an entire week to make one piece of good content without having to really stress about it. Because if you do twice a week, then that's kind of stressful. It gets a bit stressful. So especially if you're starting out, once a week is a good ratio for you to kind of get into it, but then also to put out enough volume so YouTube catches on to your videos and pushes those videos. Because YouTube kind of, if you're a new channel or even, if you have like a dead channel and you want to revive it, YouTube needs to figure out who you are and who they should push your content to. Because that's important. You can put out the best content, but if the wrong people see it, then that's for nothing. So YouTube just needs a while to kind of figure out who to show your videos. And that's not going to happen on the first or second video or something. It can. I'm not saying it can't. It's just very unlikely. So you just need a few videos to kind of help YouTube figure out who you are as an artist, what music you make, and then what audience would actually watch those videos. Now, if you're only uploading once a month, that takes way more time than if you're uploading once a week. And I would say give yourself at least 6 months, ideally 12 months, to really figure out this YouTube game, especially if you're new. Because YouTube just needs time again to figure out your content, who you are, and what people should see your content. And for that, I would say once a week is very doable because let's say you do once a week for 6 months, that's 24 videos that you've put out. So that's a good amount of volume to show YouTube who you are. You can do whatever you want. This is just what I found from posting on YouTube for the I've been on YouTube for a very long time, but I've never really taken it seriously, which is a big regret of mine. I should have taken it seriously sooner, but isn't it always like that? Like people are like, the only regret is I have it. I should have started earlier. So the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is to do it today. So do it today. Start your YouTube channel or revive your YouTube channel. If you want help with that, again, I have the Musician Secrets campus for that, where I go live and then I show you how to do all of this step by step. Okay, so that's my 9 advantages over social media. In this case, we have people with purpose. So we have 2.5 billion people searching for something specifically. Then problems. So people have a problem, they're looking for an answer. Then we have permanence. Your videos compound. The shelf life is years or eternity, or as long as you take down the video. 4 is proof. You're building trust and you're showing your expertise more quicker than in these all short form videos. 5 is positioning. People see you as an authority rather than just this content creator. You're positioning yourself in a way that can actually help someone. 6 is a portfolio. You're building a portfolio of long form content that when one video does go air quote viral, it also pushes the other videos as well with it. 7 is productivity. Again, one long form becomes an infinity of short term or other type of content. But if you have a software that just takes one long form and makes them to short form content, you now have enough content for Instagram, TikTok, all those platforms. Then profitability is number 8. You get paid to make content on YouTube, which is another win in my book. And then the 9th, and in my opinion, the most important one, is peace of mind. Because in my opinion, for me, one long form video is less work than a bunch of short form videos. And again, one long form becomes a dozen of short form videos. So I just switch it around. Instead of making all this short term content and then making extra long form, just make the long form to start with and then focus on that and just kind of do this social media on the side. Focus on long form. All right. So I kind of want to, before I get into this YouTube flywheel, and kind of showing you what content you can and should post on YouTube, there are just 3 things I kind of want to touch on really quickly to kind of have these misconceptions. And I don't really see them as disadvantages, just because you have the same thing on social media as well. So one is it's a slow start. Doesn't have to be, but it will most likely be. And that's why I'm saying just give yourself 6 to 12 months to kind of figure this out. So we'll have this slow burn, but then again, it compounds. So instead of having this straight line from 0 to 100 up, it's going to be very steady and low at the beginning. And at some point, it's going to hit the breaking point. And once it does, it just compounds very quickly. That's YouTube for you. So it will have a slow start. So you will probably have lower views at the beginning, and that is fine. Right now, we're not doing it for the views. I just want you to take the first 6 months and just try to get really good at making good content. So making good content, making sure it's packaged in the right way with the right title so people will actually find your content. That is just more important than the views, because when you figure out how to make good content, how to package it, and how to package your YouTube video in a way that you pop up when they are searching for it, the views follow that. So I just want you to forget the views for the first 6 months and just focus on just getting good at this. And again, I teach this in the Musician Secrets campus. So if you want to learn how to package your YouTube so you pop up when people are looking for a cover song or something, you pop up for that. Then 2, it's skill heavy. You need to know how to film and edit, but exact same thing if you're making short form video on social media. The only thing that is new is figuring out the title and the thumbnail, aka knowing how to package your YouTube video. That is the only thing that's new. But again, I show you how to do that in the Musician Secrets campus. Then consistency is needed. Duh. So make sure that when you commit to once a week, you actually do once a week and not just do once a week and then skip the next one, then do the next week and then skip the next 2, and then kind of when you feel like it. So you need to be consistent, but that's what you have to be on every platform. So I don't really see them as disadvantages. I just want to mention them. What I do is I content batch. So I don't just record one video. I do 2, maybe 3, and then I just schedule them out. That's the cool thing on YouTube. You can do it on Instagram too, but it's obviously more work because you have to like do it every day. On YouTube, you just do it on a weekly basis. So what I like to have is I like to have a month of content. So 4 videos in advance that I make. So I'm not stressed. So I have that peace of mind that when I am sick or when I have something, an emergency come up or something unexpected happened, I know it's fine and I don't have to stress about it because I have 4 videos already scheduled that are ready to go. I don't have to do anything. That's the cool thing. I do the video, I do the title, I do the thumbnail, I do the packaging, I upload it to video, I schedule a date and time, and then when that date and time happens, YouTube will automatically post it. So everything is already done for those 4 videos. And I like to stay ahead for a month. So again, just adding to that peace of mind that I have. So I don't have to stress and be like, ugh, right? And you have an entire week to make the next video. If you're not, scheduling ahead of time, you still have an entire week to post new content, not 24 hours. So yeah, just wanted to say that before we dive into the next part is I kind of want to talk about the fan flow, because in order to know what content to post, you need to understand the fan flow of the customer journey, basically, that somebody's going through, the fan journey. And I'm going to take out my trusty whiteboard for this. We're going to have the fan flow. And here, oops, we have 3 levels. Okay, this is going to be a bit long. I like to see it like a funnel, as a funnel. And that funnel has 3 levels. All right. So we have our fan flow here, and we have our 3 levels. So level number 1 is going to be discovery. Discovery. This is people are specifically searching for something. This is where you want to have our cover songs. Why? Because people are already looking for a song, and if your cover pops up, they might check it out. All right. So this is the broadest part. This is the top of the funnel. And this is the broadest part because that's what people are going to be looking for, searching for. Their cover songs, their how to play. I'm Yours by Jason Mraz. I don't know, Jack Johnson, whatever you want to put here. Okay. Okay, these are things that people are looking for. This is how they discover and find you for the first time, right? This is the advantage of YouTube, is that you pop up for something they are looking for, right? So that's step number 1. Discovery, people are searching for something specifically. Then we have the nurture. So after people found your covers and they're like, huh, I really like this artist. Let's check this artist out. Um, they don't even have to like say that they want to check it out. Either one, they specifically go on your channel and check out your music, or YouTube will suggest your videos if you have already a portfolio of your YouTube videos. They will suggest it on their YouTube suggest site. This is to trust and like you. Trust and like. Right? So top of funnel is discovery, like cover and how to. And then they fall into the next step, which is the nurture funnel. And this is where we have vlogs or behind the scenes. This is where we have raw or what I call anyway content. I'm not going to go really deep into this because I actually might talk about this in a different episode, because anyway content is the best way to promote your music, or to market your music, not to promote it, to market your music that costs you $0 and no extra time. So if I did the episode, I'm going to link it up, but I'm going to make one in the future where I just talk about anyway content. And in my opinion, it's the best way to just market your music. So anyway content, then and this is where we have originals, because I get it. As musicians, we've already done so many covers and we're kind of sick of them. We just want to play original songs. And I understand. I'm not saying not to post original songs, but in the beginning, nobody's going to be searching for your songs because they don't know you yet. But if you do covers, people will recognize you as an artist, like you as an artist, and then go into the second layer, which is the nurturing layer. And that is where we have now, they will look for your original songs. This is where they want to know the behind the scenes of how you made the music video, or what the song means to you, or a vlog, like what does your day look like. That's when they now become more interested as you as the artist. That's where we want this nurture content to kick in, right? And then the last one, in the third level, this is the very bottom and the smallest, as you can see, is our promo videos. Now this can be, this is where we make money, not only, but the majority. This is where we show you performing or performing. This can be interviews. Let's say you're on a podcast like mine. Something like that, right? You're on you get a TV interview, or you're on a podcast or something like that. You're being interviewed and you're actively promoting your new album, or your let's say your your EP, you're going on tour, you're selling tickets, you're actively now promoting something. This is the very last layer. And these are layered in a very specific way. So if you only do discovery content, so let's say you only do cover songs, but you regard the nurturing, then you're not giving your fans the opportunity to learn more about you. This is amazing, because then fans, you get to deepen the bond more with your fans. And that's where they turn from just fans to super fans, is when we have this nurture content, is we're taking them on this customer journey to become super fans, not just fans that will listen to a song or two and kind of like what we do, but fans who actually become super fans. And that only happens when we put out nurture content. So this is where they move to a super fan status, but they can't become super fans if they don't get to know us, don't get to learn who we are. And that only happens in this nurture section right now. And if we only do discovering and nurture, but we're not actually giving them a chance to buy from us, if we're never promoting something, then we have all the fans, but no money. And I see that a lot where even like musicians or influencers on social media, they have millions of followers and millions of views, but they can't monetize it. They can't make money with it because they've built an audience that don't really care. And that's why the levels in which these 3 steps are very important. So we need to put out videos, which is going to be the majority, hence why it's the top and the widest. Then a smaller amount of people are wanting to learn more about who you are as an artist. And then at the bottom, this is the smallest part, is where they then actually want to go and buy merch and tickets and your new album and want to support you and join your community or stuff like that. Um, so that's why you need to see it as a funnel. Um, Now this is the fan flow. This is the way in which your fans will go through this journey. One thing I want to mention, because I see this unfortunately happen all the time, what most, I mean, people in general, but I want to talk to you as a musician specifically, what I see happening is that musicians will only post promo video. And this is what I call booty call content. You're basically only posting content when you need something. You're building you're creating your new album, your EP or your single, you're creating it in isolation. Therefore, you don't have time, air quote time, to post on YouTube or social media or whatnot. And then you're like, oh, okay, now I'm done. Now what? Then you post to social media and you're like, oh, yeah, my video is out. No, go pre-save it on Spotify, yada, yada, yada. And it feels weird. Why? Because it is. You haven't earned their trust yet. You haven't earned their respect. You haven't earned the right to ask anything yet. That's why you want to post on a regular basis and don't miss, because this is giving you the opportunity to earn that ask. And that's why it's at the bottom of the funnel, because you want to give, then ask. You want to give more than you're asking. You can kind of see like this content as like your content bank. So you want to make sure you have more content in the bank than you're withdrawing from the bank. Okay? Most musicians, they're going into negative. They're never going to the content bank and filling it up with content that's actually valuable and helping your fans. They're only withdrawing. And that's why you're in the negative. And so that's why when you're asking your fans to pre-save or whatnot, it feels awkward, because it is. You haven't earned the ask yet. You haven't built the trust, the connection. You haven't gone through this fan flow and turned those new people into fans and then those fans into super fans. And then you ask, and not the other way around. And that's why I always like to show this fan flow, because it shows you that not all content is created equal. If you only make one type of content or 2 types and you're missing out the third, then it's out of whack and that ecosystem is going to fall apart. Okay. Now that we know the fan flow, we're finally ready to talk about the actual content to post. Okay, so we've now know why so many musicians are disregarding YouTube completely and why it's the best opportunity now to get started. I gave you 9 reasons why I believe YouTube is way better than social media and is giving you more opportunities to actually get that peace of mind. Now I've talked about the fan flow, that again, not all views are treated equally, that you really need to nurture those fans before you can ask and in air quotes sell to them. And now at the very end, we're talking about the YouTube Flywheel, which is what content should you post? And like, Elise, this sounds all nice. YouTube, I get it. I need to post on YouTube, but I just don't know what to post. And so this is the last step. And this is what I call the YouTube Flywheel. I didn't give myself a lot of space to do that, so I'm just gonna erase this part so I have more room for my flywheel over here. Okay. Right. So this is the YouTube Flywheel. YouTube Flywheel. And the first thing I think I covered enough is cover songs. This is going to be your bread and butter, okay? And I don't just want you to cover any songs, because we are, okay, we have this is the fan flow, and here is our YouTube Flywheel. Here are the cover songs. Now, because again, people are searching for something specifically, I don't just want you to cover a song from like 20 years ago. You can put them in as well. I'm not saying not to, but the best strategy that I would use is to cover a song that is popular now, that is really kicking it off, because that means people are looking for that. They're searching for this. It needs to be a trending or relevant song that's working right now. Trending / relevant. Okay. If it's trending and relevant, a lot of people will be looking for that song. And if you package your YouTube video in a way that people want to click on it, you're going to get the views from that. So you have the potential to get way more views from a trending, relevant video rather than a song that was popular 10 years ago or something like that. Doesn't mean you can't and shouldn't do it, because people are still searching, just not as many. So I just keep that in mind, that obviously when you're doing a popular song right now, and obviously the faster you cover it, so let's say your the song came out and you're one of the first ones to cover that within like a day or two, and not just waiting 2 weeks, then you're very likely to get those views first because you're one of the first ones popping up. So the faster you are to cover that song, the better. Okay, so we want trending, relevant videos to cover. This is going to be your bread and butter in the beginning. Then you can do day in your life. So these are vlogs. Okay, these are what I call anyway content. And again, I'll do a separate episode just on this because it's very powerful content. It's very easy to make. It doesn't cost you any extra time. It's $0 to make. That's why I think it's so powerful. And I came up with a concept, so I'm going to share that with you in an episode soon, or I'll link it up down below if it's out. Then gear review. This is also very overlooked. As musicians, we have so many. Okay, so here we have our cover songs, we have our vlogs, now we have our gear review. And this is very powerful because as musicians, we have so much gear laying around. So if you're a guitarist like me, the amount of pedals you're probably having at home is ridiculous. Right? So do a gear review on your favorite pedals. Pick out your top 5 favorite pedals or your top 3 favorite pedals and be like, why you like them, what you don't like about them, what pedal is your favorite one, and so on. You can do a gear review on that. If you're a vocalist, if you're a producer, you probably have mics laying around, like different type of mics, and you can do a gear review and say which one is your favorite one. What mic do you use at a certain point? Like when do you use what mic, and so on. These are things we already have laying around. These are stuff. I'm not saying to buy extra gear to do a review. I'm saying if you have gear laying around, that can be instruments. Like for me, I could do, it wouldn't be like a gear review, but then it would be like an instrument review, I guess. So do that. Like whatever you have laying around, by the way, this is what I call anyway content, things you are doing anyway, or you have laying around anyway, do a video about that. So gear review can be very powerful because again, this would what I would also consider top funnel discovery content, because people are searching for the best guitar pedal, are searching for the best vocal mic, are looking for the best guitar to buy or something like that. This is something people are actually searching for. That can be very powerful because you already have it laying around. You just need to make the video for it. Then behind the scenes, because you just, you're making the content anyway. If you just set up your phone and you film yourself making the music video, you now have, guess what? Another content. Again, this is anyway content. Just saying. Behind the scenes is very powerful. Just because something is boring or routine to us doesn't mean it is boring to your fans. It's actually quite the opposite. Just because a band rehearsal is boring to us doesn't mean it's boring to your fans. They still want to see that. They still want to see you writing the song. They want to see you produce the song. They want to see you at band rehearsals. They want to see you when you're getting ready for an interview. They want to see behind the scenes. That is actually where fans turn into super fans, is because you're giving them the opportunity to see the world the way you see it. That is powerful. And that's what's something I consider anyway content, because you're doing it anyway. You might as well just film it and boom, you have more content. Okay, moving on. Show your expertise. Okay. Show your expertise. Okay. Show your expertise. So if you're a vocal coach, do a video about that. If you're teaching someone how to play the guitar or the piano or any other instrument, go do that. If you're a producer and you want to show how you make beats, go do that. Show your expertise. As musicians, we have so many skills already that we just disregard as, I'm just a musician. But there's so many skills that we had to acquire to get to the point where you are now, that other people would love to learn. They would love to learn how to produce. They would love to learn how to make beats. They would love to learn how to get better at singing. They would love to learn to play the guitar. They would love to learn to mix and master or whatnot. Like, you already have skills to some degree, otherwise you wouldn't be a good musician, that other people would like to learn from. And then the last one, of course, is originals. Originals. All right. So this gives you a good mix of different content ideas that fall under these categories. So the way I do it, that is what I tell my students, is in the beginning, if you're new, your bread and butter is going to be cover songs. Why? Because it's a top funnel discovery. All right. And I want the ratio to be 3 to 1. So if you're posting once a week, which is what I recommend, then I want you to post 3 cover songs and then one other type of content. So that one other type of content can be behind the scenes. It can be a original. It can be a vlog. It can be something else rather than a cover song. So you just go through this flywheel and you're like, okay, I'm doing 3 cover songs and then 1 behind the scenes. I'm doing 3 cover songs and then 1 original. I do 3 cover songs and then I do a vlog. Then I do 3 cover songs and then I do a gear review. Something like that. Once you get the fans, you can minimize that. Then you don't have to do a cover. You don't need a 3-to-1 ratio. Maybe then you can do 50-50. Once you get bigger, maybe you just need to do 1 cover songs and then you can do 3 originals. Whatever, once you start growing, that ratio can change, but the flywheel always stays the same. So now you always have ideas to post onto your YouTube channel, which is just great. That's why I've designed it. Okay. But in the beginning, you want a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 cover songs, 1 original, 3 cover songs, 1 original. So you can just do cover songs. There's a band, they're called Boys Avenue. So what they do is they do cover songs. They just only do cover songs, have few originals sprinkled in there, but they just mainly do cover songs in a more acoustic version. Okay. Then there's another band and they're called Our Last Night. I recently just found them. What they do is they take popular songs and then they turn them into like rock or hard rock genre, which is what that's their genre as a band, is like, is like rock music. So that's actually something that's really, really popular, is just to take the song and then turning that into the genre that you're doing. So I've seen that a lot, that people take songs from Adele and then do a heavy metal cover. That will get attention. So actually just covering it in the same genre is also good, but it's not, unless you really put your own spin on it, why should they listen to your song rather than to the original? Okay, so it's actually a good thing to just take a song, make it acoustic. Take a song, make it into your genre, reggae, hard rock, heavy metal. I don't care, whatever your genre is, R&B. Take the song, turn it into that genre. So if you want to check them out, I'm going to leave the links down below to Boys Avenue. They've been around for a very long time. I think I've been following them for at least 10 years on YouTube. So they've been doing this game for a long time. And then Our Last Night, I'm going to have down there as well. So you can kind of get an idea of what type of content you could be posting as well. So basically you would be fine with just doing 3 covers original, 3 covers original, 3 covers original, 3 covers original for as long as you want. Okay. If you want to do a mixed channel, you can do 3 covers and then behind the scenes, 3 covers and then a vlog, 3 covers and then an original, right? You kind of mix it up, have a gear review in there. But you could be fine with just doing a cover and originals and then maybe a behind the scenes every now and then. There's a good YouTuber, her name is Kara. She's really good at doing this mixed content. She's an artist, so she has her original songs on there. I don't really know if she does covers, because for her discovery content, she does actually more of the gear review stuff. So if you're like, I don't want to do covers, well then do something else that people search for. And so gear review would be a good way, or how-to videos. So if you're a producer and you don't want to do covers, which would make no sense really, just do how-to videos, how to get better at producing, how you do your vocal chain, for example, or something like that. That's what people are searching for. Like, I'm not saying that you only have to do cover songs, but if you're an indie artist, that will be probably your best option to do. But if you're a producer, then your top funnel discovery content is going to be how-to videos. If you're an instrumentalist, your top funnel discovery content is going to be how to play blank, right? So just adapt this to whatever you're doing, what feels natural to you, what feels good to you. If cover songs, there's a difference between being just annoyed to do cover songs and just really feeling uncomfortable doing cover songs. If you feel uncomfortable doing cover songs and you say, I'd rather just do gear reviews, then do that. But if you're good at doing cover songs, but you're just so over it, then just do the cover song. Okay. So whatever you want to do as your discovery, do that. Okay. But here are just a few ideas. This is your YouTube flywheel that you can use for your ideas. Just mix it up. You can just do one type of content. You can do gear review for your discovery. And then for your nurture sequence, you can do like vlogs or something. Like, get creative with this. This is just the big overview of what I can teach that will cover the majority of musicians here. Okay, perfect. I will link everything up down below. Again, if you want to learn more about how to package your YouTube videos and exactly what to post and all that good stuff, I do that in my Musician Secrets campus community where I go live and I teach you how to do these things. One last thought that I kind of want to leave you with, because AI is kind of catching up quickly. And with AI, yes, it can make certain type of content, but there's a type of content it can't make, and that is content out of experience, because it's not living, it's not alive. And so when you make content where you're like, these are the mistakes I've made, or this is what I've learned from this life experience, that is content that AI cannot make. And that's the cool thing. People nowadays, social media and YouTube, we're now moving into this era where we're kind of sick of overly polished and edited, fake looking, like over the top, perfect content. People are kind of over that, because that's what AI is doing. And what people, at the end of the day, what they want is connection. And there's nothing faster that connects people than with music. And so that's why we have an unfair advantage against everyone else, because through our music, we can connect with people. And people just want to see you as a human. They want to hear your mistakes. They want to see where you've gone wrong. They want to see a raw YouTube video. Why I'm bringing this up is you should not post a completely polished YouTube video. They just want to see a raw YouTube video. They want to see who you are. They want to see your quirkiness. They want to see your personality. They want to see the whole person. And especially if you're doing long form video, they really get to see who you are. And I hope that it kind of takes away this pressure of, oh, if I post YouTube videos, then it needs to be perfectly edited and everything. No, no, no. This is just, I am just talking to a camera. This video is not edited. It's just going to be clipped at the beginning and at the end, but in the middle there are no edits in here. This is just me talking to you for now almost an hour and 40 minutes. This is just me unpolished. If you were here sitting here on my couch and asking like how to promote your music without social media, this is what I would tell you. This is what I would say. Obviously, if you're here and it's a one-on-one, I can get into it more specifically. But in general, this is what I would what I would be telling you. That's just the real thing, and that's what people want to see. They don't want to see the overly polished content that you're reading off of a script from, or what. I'm not a fan of script writing. I just say what I think is valuable for you right now and just having a conversation with you. That's it. Like, I just think about, if you were here with me and you asked me this question, this is what I would tell you. This is the conversation I would have. And I hope this was valuable to you. I hope you could see that maybe social media if this is the hamster wheel you're on, the burnout you're on, and you're just kind of not getting a break and you're not seeing the results, then maybe this is the sign that you should not question yourself as a musician and your talent and your efforts, but you should maybe question the system you're using. Again, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. So the first thing I would ask is social media really the platform you should focus on? Because as I talked for a long time now, you can still make short form content from long form. I'm not saying to completely disregard social media because we are in an era where social media is important, where people go and look and are on social media, but I'm just saying it shouldn't be your focus. Maybe it's time to focus something on other platform like YouTube, just because it just has a search engine. It compounds over time. It does give you the opportunity to monetize if you want to, and if you're not doing it as a cover. And it just builds that portfolio for you. And I think that for me is just way more powerful than kind of being on this hamster wheel of content where the algorithm is constantly changing and you're just chasing after trends and just hoping to go viral. And yeah. And the cool thing is with YouTube now, where it is right now, people just want to see raw. They just want to see you as an artist. They just want to connect with a human being, not with a perfectly polished AI video. They just want to see you. So yeah, post that content. Done is better than perfect, because perfect doesn't get anything done. All right. If you want to learn more, if you want to go deeper on this topic, then join the Musician Secrets Campus. I'm more willing to help you there, or able to help you, because I'm already at an hour 40 minutes on this podcast. But I'm so grateful that you watched all the way to the end. If you did, DM me on Instagram at elisecoa.com and tell me I'm in on YouTube or something like that, so I know you watched all the way to the end. Or let me know in the comments down below. Don't question yourself as an artist. Please just keep going. Your time will come, and if you're doing the right things for the right reasons, the reason that it's not going to be if but when. And if you think like a musicpreneur, this is what I teach. It's very different from everything else that everyone else is teaching. If you think like a musicpreneur, then there is good money to be made in music. I talk to a lot of musicians here on YouTube that are making 6 to 7 figures a year. Normal musicians. They're not famous or anything, but they're doing the right things in the right order. And YouTube is one of them. You can have your dreams or your excuses. You can't have both. Gotta pick one. So stop making excuses on why you can't make videos on YouTube and start thinking about all the right reasons why you should start now. Don't make it perfect. Just do it and then get better over time. Steve Jobs did not make the perfect iPhone. They just started with the first model, and now we're at iPhone 17 because they keep improving the model over time. You don't bring out the perfect product right out of the gate. You just start where you are now, and then you go from there. And again, you will be surprised by the gear I use. I just film on my phone. I have like a little lighting situation, and that's it. I just have this mic, and that's it. So you don't need expensive gear. Again, make it raw. If you don't have, I could make this video outside or something. Like, people don't care about being perfect. They just want to see you. And that's what I'm going to end on. So thank you for listening to the Musician Secrets podcast. Next week, I'm going to talk about how we're actually going to make money, because now we have the eyeballs from YouTube. now next step, we want to learn how to make money. So if you want to watch that, if you're interested in actually how to make money with your music, then stay tuned because next week that's what I'm going to be talking about. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye.